You learned to brace, to hold your breath, to flinch ever so slightly when the zipper of your wallet whispered open, as if you were opening a wound instead of a well, as if you were about to lose instead of remember. And it happened quietly, didn't it? Not with thunder, not with rage, but with sighs. With small exhales you called budgeting. With sacred pauses you named control. With hesitations you baptized as being responsible. But Spirit knows what you were really doing. You were protecting yourself from the shame of lack. You were mourning something before it even left your hand. You were whispering prayers of scarcity in the language of logic. What if I told you your wallet was never the problem? What if I told you it was your fear that cast the spell? You weren't born to dread the opening. You were born to command the overflow. You were not sent here to clench. You were sent here to declare. Say this out loud with reverence. I open my wallet with peace, and it multiplies in grace. Because this is the truth they didn't tell you. Your wallet responds not to numbers, but to the tone you use when touching it. It is not the balance. It is the belief. It is not the bills. It is the breath. There are women listening now who have never opened their wallet without guilt, never spent without second-guessing, never looked inside without feeling their worth questioned. And to you, beloved, this is your spiritual release. This is not a money conversation. This is a remembrance, because when you flinch before you spend, you're not just reacting to a number. You're reacting to a memory of being told there wasn't enough. A memory of watching your parents sigh when the bills came, a memory of not knowing if you'd be safe at the end of the month. But that was survival's voice. And you are no longer surviving. Breathe. Again. Slower this time. Me. Deeper. Because that exhale you withhold when you open your wallet, it's the very exhale that would have let money stay. You see, money does not flow to fear, it flows to peace. It finds refuge in reverence. It stays where it is seen without shame. And your wallet has been waiting for you to look at it with love. When did the zipper become a siren of sorrow? When did the folds of leather become a place you feared to touch? What if, from now on, you made the act of opening your wallet a sacred ceremony? What if every time you reached for it, you whispered blessings instead of budgets? Say this with me slowly. I open my wallet with peace, and it multiplies in grace. Because the truth is, the wallet was never empty. It was echoing your energy. If you believe it holds struggle, it will reflect struggle. If you believe it carries grace, it will mirror grace. Spiritual law is not emotional. It obeys vibration. It matches the decree. It multiplies the dominant frequency. And when your dominant tone is dread, you delay the arrival of divine substance. But when your tone becomes trust, when your energy becomes ease, when your hands no longer tremble in survival, something shifts. The wallet opens. The flow remembers. And money returns to where it is welcomed. This is no longer the space for hiding your pain in silence. This is the space for speaking your truth into every fold, every seam, every zip. So bless the one who taught you to fear the wallet. Bless the budget that made you feel small. Bless the version of you who panicked at checkout. She did not fail. She survived. But you are not here to survive. You are here to waken, to speak where you once stayed silent, to soften where you once clenched, to declare where you once doubted. Say it again with softness now. I open my wallet with peace, and it multiplies in grace. And feel your body remember. You are not unworthy. You are not broken. You are not late to abundance. You are arriving, and the wallet is ready. It is not your punishment. It is your partner. It is not your mirror of guilt. It is your mirror of decree. And when you speak to it with reverence, when you say to it, I bless this space where money lives, something ancient awakens. The wallet becomes a sacred agreement, a covenant of care, a holy place where divine supply visits not once, but again and again. Every time you open your wallet now, let it be with breath, let it be with blessing, let it be with softness. This is the moment you heal the relationship. This is the moment you stop fearing what was always meant to flow. Say this slowly. I open my wallet with peace, and it multiplies in grace. Feel it. Don't rush. Let it settle into the bones of your voice, because what you speak before you spend decides what returns to you after. And this is your new truth. Fear no longer holds the key. You do. You hold the rhythm. You hold the remembrance. You hold the decree. This is not imagination. This is law. This is not hope. This is spoken reality. And you, beloved, you are no longer the woman who fears her own wallet. You are the woman who blesses it and watches it bloom. If you've ever feared the wallet, type in the comments. I open in peace now, then exhale. Your money heard you. Your wallet did too. And heaven? Heaven already said yes. There was never a moment money went missing. Only a moment your voice did. Only a moment you whispered from fear instead of speaking from truth. Only a moment your vibration folded in on itself like a forgotten prayer, and money listened, not to your numbers, but to your nervous system, to your tone, to your story, to your spell. You thought it was absent, but it was simply obedient, waiting for your sacred yes, responding to your silent no. Say this out loud. Money responds to my reverence, not my fear. Let it settle, let it echo. Let it become the breath between your sentences and the rhythm beneath your skin. You are not abandoned. You are vibrationally echoed. And today, you call your echo back with authority. You see, money is not just paper. It is memory. It is mirrored memory. It reflects the sound of your subconscious and the charge of your choice. There are no gaps in divine substance, only gaps in tone. Your wallet did not close itself. It echoed your contraction. Your supply did not run away. It bowed to your silence. But hear this now, and hear it deep. Money was never judging you, only mirroring you. It did not leave to punish. It paused to protect. You were not ready to receive when you believed lack was your teacher. You were not ready to expand when you still saw money as your master. And so, it waited. Not in distance, but in resonance. It stayed as near as your next breath, listening for the one thing you've rarely given it: blessing. The moment you stop chasing and start communing, money becomes sacred again. Let the survival self fall away. Let the urgency leave your spine. Let the guilt drip off your shoulders like yesterday's version of you. You were never meant to beg. You were born to bless. You were born to decree. Money isn't the goal. It is the echo of your frequency, the shadow of your self-concept, the mirror of your spoken I am. So today, we speak. We speak with softness. We speak with truth. We speak with the sound that heaven already responds to. Say this out loud with me. Divine supply knows my voice. I don't chase. I harmonize. You are not broken. You are remembering, and remembrance is magnetic. When you remember your worth, money remembers its path back to you. It doesn't need a strategy, it needs a signal. And that signal is no longer fear. That signal is no longer flinching when you look at your bank account. That signal is no longer silence. That signal is softness. That signal is reverence. That signal is your voice. Calm, knowing, unapologetic. Let me ask you something. What if money was always there, just standing quietly behind the veil of your fear, waiting for you to say, I'm ready to be heard now? Because that's all it ever wanted, to be heard through the ears of your trust, to be seen through the lens of your divinity, to be held in the hands of your healed nervous system. You flinched, you tightened, you begged, and still, money listened. Now you soften, now you speak, now it will rise. If you feel this shift, type in the comments, my wallet hears me now. And breathe, not the breath of panic, the breath of peace, the breath of remembrance, the breath of resonance returning. Because you are the instrument, and money plays in tune with your belief. You are the speaker, and money echoes your decree. You are not waiting. You are remembering, and memory is the most magnetic force on earth. And now, you no longer whisper from a wound. You declare from a well that never ran dry, only waited for you to trust its waters again. Money is not gone. It is gathering. It is preparing to return. In the exact tone of how you sit, peek it back into being. Say this slowly. Money is not missing, though. It's listening. Can you feel it now? Not as pressure, not as chase, but as presence. This is the undoing of generational tightness. This is the breath your ancestors were never allowed to take. This is the moment the daughters of survival become the women of sovereign supply. Let the old version of you, the one who feared the empty wallet, exhale, let her soften, let her go. She was only protecting herself with silence, but silence is no longer your safety. Voice is, reverence is. Your wallet was never a weapon. It was never meant to carry your shame. It was built to hold the blessing of your belief. Every time you open it with fear, it tightens with you. Every time you open it with reverence, it remembers who you are. And now, you no longer whisper from a wound. You declare from a well that never ran dry, only waited for you to trust its waters again. Money is not gone. It is gathering. It is preparing to return, in the exact tone of how you speak it back into being. Say this slowly. Money is not missing. It's listening. Can you feel it now? Not as pressure, not as chase, but as presence. This is the undoing of generational tightness. This is the breath your ancestors were never allowed to take. This is the moment the daughters of survival become the women of sovereign supply. Let the old version of you, the one who feared the empty wallet, exhale, let her soften, let her go. She was only protecting herself with silence, but silence is no longer your safety. Voice is, reverence is. Your wallet was never a weapon. It was never meant to carry your shame. It was built to hold the blessing of your belief. Every time you open it with fear, it tightens with you. Every time you open it with reverence, it remembers who you are.
So open it now, not as a survivor. Open it as a sanctuary, a temple, a portal of divine return. Say this again as if your future depends on the sound. Money responds to my reverence, not my fear. Let that sentence braid itself into your bloodstream. No more bracing. No more flinching at totals. No more shaming yourself into scarcity. The numbers on your screen are not the measure of your worth. Your tone is. Your frequency is. Your identity is. You are not here to perform for provision. You are here to remember that heaven already decided. And heaven did not say, strive. It said, speak. It said, declare. It said, let there be wealth. So say it. Speak into your wallet like it's listening. Because it is. Speak into your bank account like it's alive. Because it is. Speak into the silence like God is tuned to your breath. Because she is. Let your supply be ruled by your decree. Not your doubt. Not your debt. Not your past programming. You were not created to be tolerated by money. You were created to be trusted with it. To steward it. To sing to it. To bless it until it blesses you back tenfold. Say this. My words create the overflow. My peace sustains it. You are no longer surviving. You are coding reality with sound. You are calling your wealth home, with reverence as your language and joy as your currency. This is where the shift becomes sacred. Where you stop negotiating with lack. Where you stop apologizing for needing. Where you start remembering that divine wealth isn't earned, it's embodied. Let your nervous system hear this. Money is not random. It's relational. It follows your leadership. It follows your tone. And you are the one it's been listening to all along. If this transmission found the part of you that forgot, type in the comments, my wallet hears me now. And let that be your offering. Not as performance. As prophecy. The world may have celebrated your ability to survive, but heaven crowned you for your ability to create. You are not here to budget your soul. You are not here to trim your dreams to fit a wounded story. You are not here to apologize to your wallet for the size of your desire. You are here to overflow. To expand. To circulate light through currency. To restore what the generations before you were told to hide. Survival taught you to shrink. But that was never the spirit song over your life. There is nothing sacred about scarcity. There is nothing holy about fear. You wore guilt like armor, because somewhere in your lineage a woman was punished for asking for more. You inherited her memory, but not her limits. You were sent to rewrite the sound. To speak where she stayed silent. To spend with reverence, not with ache. Can you feel the breath loosening in your chest now? Not because money arrived, but because shame left. This is not about numbers. This is about worth. You were not made to shrink. You were made to shine. To shine when you spend. To shine when you ask. To shine when you invest in your joy. To shine when you say, "This feels aligned, and I trust my abundance to sustain it." Not because you're reckless. But because you remember. Supply is spiritual. Abundance is remembrance. Lack is a lie. And the voice that says, "Be careful, you might run out," is not the voice of your soul. It's the voice of the wound. You are not here to serve the wound. You are here to serve the divine. You are not here to ration your receiving. You are here to speak reality into circulation. Let your nervous system feel this. There is nothing wrong with being full. There is nothing greedy about asking. There is nothing selfish about saying yes to the life that sings to your spirit. Every time you whisper, "I'll just take the cheapest one." Every time you say,
There is a moment before the hand reaches, before the leather folds open like a memory, before numbers are seen, bills exchanged, or coins released into the world. There is a breath, a pause, a holy invitation to remember that you were never asking for money. You were asking for remembrance. You were not meant to open your wallet in reaction. You were not meant to open it with tension. You were not meant to open it in silence, because silence becomes agreement, and agreement becomes identity, and identity becomes your reality. You were always meant to speak first, not as a beggar, not as a believer, but as a being who already carries divine wealth in her voice. This is not about buying. This is not about spending. This is about what you say before you open what holds your money, because your wallet hears your voice before it holds your currency. Say this out loud. Divine wealth is present before I reach. Now, feel that in your bones, not as a mantra, not as an affirmation, but as a memory reawakened. You don't reach to receive, you reach because you already hold. You speak before you spend, because the spirit of money listens for who you are being. And you are not just a woman making a transaction, you are a woman opening a portal. You are not just touching a wallet, you are touching a womb of creation. The vibration that comes before the dollar is what activates the divine law of return. Every time you reach without speaking, you bypass your throne. But every time you speak with reverence, you become the code that overflow obeys. This is the reprogramming. This is the moment the spell is rewritten. Not by logic, not by budgeting, not by control, but by voice, by vibration, by divinity remembered. Say it again. Divine wealth is present before I reach. Let that sentence rearrange your cells. Let it dissolve the panic. Let it soften the guilt. Let it unhook the shame of needing, the grief of giving, the fear of not having enough. What if your wallet was never empty, only unspoken to? What if it wasn't the numbers that made you feel small, but the silence? What if the supply was always waiting behind the words you refused to say? You've tried reaching in silence. You've tried spending in scarcity. You've tried holding back your breath while handing over your last few bills. And still, the void grew louder. Because money does not respond to panic. It responds to prophecy. You are not here to budget your worth. You are not here to calculate your permission. You are here to declare your wealth before your hand even moves. Say it again, this time with your chest open. Divine wealth is present before I reach. You are not summoning it. You are revealing it. You are not commanding from lack. You are awakening from truth. Your wallet isn't a container. It's an altar. And altars require language. They require presence. They require honoring. Before you unzip, before you swipe, before you hand over $1, you are called to remember. This is not spending. This is spelling. This is a moment of sacred transaction. Not between you and the world, but between you and the divine memory of who you've always been. A woman who speaks first, and the world responds. A woman who opens her wallet like a prayer, not a panic. A woman who lets heaven know, I do not fear giving, because I am backed by source. If this is your new ritual, if this is the sentence your blue wealth has been waiting to hear, type it now in the comments. I speak first, then receive. Let your subconscious register the rhythm. Let your nervous system relax into its new truth. Let your identity rise up from its old shell of survival and say, I was never trying to make ends meet. I was always here to move mountains with my mouth. You are no longer surviving. You are remembering. And in that remembrance, overflow cannot resist you. You were told a wallet was just for holding, a place where money waits, where cards rest, where coins collect without meaning. But what if I told you, your wallet is not just a leather fold. It is not a pocket of logic, not a pouch of survival. It is not a container for cash. It is a cathedral for your consciousness. It is an altar, a holy chamber where your beliefs kneel or your spoken reality. You've carried it like a burden. You've zipped it in fear. You've opened it with hesitation. You've blamed it, hated it, feared its emptiness. But it was never the wallet that failed you. It was the energy you placed inside it. The wallet is not your proof of wealth. It is your proof of worship. And every time you open it without reverence, you declare that money is just matter, not miracle. But Spirit sees differently. Spirit sees what you place your hands on as sacred. And your wallet, that's where money rests, sleeps, breathes, returns. Would you curse a temple? Would you criticize a church? Would you scoff at the place where blessings gather? Then stop doing it to your wallet. Say this slowly. My wallet is an altar for overflow, not a cage, not a vault, not a graveyard for gone dreams, but an altar where miracles kneel beside memory, where energy becomes form, where reverence becomes result. What you bless, grows. What you honor, stays. What you curse, contracts. Your wallet has been listening this whole time. It remembers how you've spoken to it. It remembers the tension in your shoulders, the guilt in your breath, the shame in your silence. But today, the ritual changes. You no longer reach with resentment. You no longer open with judgment. You no longer treat it like a place of lack. You bow. You bless. You breathe. Say it again. Slowly, gently, truthfully. My wallet is an altar for overflow. Bless the folds, bless the lining, bless the seams that hold space for more. Bless the space between bills, bless the corners where change rests, bless the card that didn't get declined, bless the card that did, bless the nothingness, because it was never truly empty. You see, lack was never real, only unblessed space. When you speak with reverence to what holds your money, you remind the universe you are not just asking for wealth, you are preparing to hold it. Preparation is worship. Worship is wealth. And wealth is what returns to its place of welcome. This is not superstition. This is spiritual structure. This is you aligning with heaven's way of seeing. You are not just the spender. You are the steward. You are not just the receiver. You are the revealer. Say this out loud, from your belly, not your lips. My wallet is an altar for overflow. You've blessed everyone else. You've prayed over dinner. You've whispered over wounds. But have you ever blessed the place where your money lives? Try it now. Hold your wallet, touch it like it remembers you, because it does. Whisper to it like it hears your truth, because it does. Bless it like it holds the seed of your abundance, because it does. Not because of what's in it, but because of what you place in it with your energy. This is not about money. It never was. It's about who you are being when you interact with it. Are you shrunken? Are you rushing? Are you annoyed? Are you grieving your bank balance, or are you holy, patient, rooted, unshaken? Because the wallet becomes what you speak over it. It becomes your altar, or it becomes your absence, and you choose. With every word, every sigh, every touch, say it again, with gentleness, as if you're laying hands on sacred ground. My wallet is an altar for overflow. You are no longer surviving. You are no longer bracing. You are no longer apologizing for needing. You are no longer waiting for money to prove your worth. You bless first and receive later. Bless the space. Bless the stillness. Bless the not yet and the already. Bless the $5 bill. Bless the imagined thousands. Bless the gift card. Bless the coin with dust. Bless the nothing, Guillaume. Because it's never been empty, just sacred in waiting. You are not small for blessing what others ignore. You are wise. You are remembering. If this changed your view, if your heart felt seen, if your wallet suddenly feels holy again, type this into the comments now. I bless where my money rests. Let the words land like a soft anointing. Let the nervous system exhale. Let the altar rise again. Money does not come where it is condemned. Money does not linger where it is feared. Money does not dance in the presence of criticism, but it overflows in reverence. It multiplies in blessing. It appears where it is welcomed by identity, not effort. And today, your identity remembered the truth. You are not a woman waiting for more. You are a woman who blesses what she has. You are a woman who prepares for overflow by honoring where overflow lives. So when you touch your wallet next time, pause, breathe, and speak before you spend, because your altar deserves poetry, and your money deserves reverence, and your life deserves the wealth that answers only to your voice. Say it one more time for your future see. To hear you clearly. My wallet is an altar for overflow, and so it is. You say you desire wealth, but what does your silence say when no one's listening? You claim abundance aloud, but what does your whisper confess when the lights are low and your hand reaches for a wallet you've learned to fear? You speak favor in public, but what spell do your shoulders chant when they tighten as the cashier rings your name into the register of heaven? You are not manifesting from your voice in the light. You are manifesting from the murmur in the dark. It is the private voice, the hidden chant, the echo of the old wound that fills or empties your wallet. It is not the declaration you posted, but the vibration you muttered as you watch someone else receive what you swore was yours. It's not what you affirm on stage. It's what you secretly believe in the grocery aisle. And that belief, that unspoken energy, is what money hears first. Because money is not responding to volume. It's responding to vibration. Your wallet is not punishing you. It is imitating you. It is mirroring the tone of your own subconscious voice. It is reflecting the sound of your self-worth when no one else is watching. Say this out loud. My secret voice now speaks overflow. There's a frequency hidden in your sigh, a magnetic command in your breath, a decree that travels ahead of your words and prepares the way for what will or will not come. You have spoken against yourself more often than anyone ever needed to, and your wallet, like a child trained in energy, listened. You said, I don't know if I can afford this, and it echoed. You said, money doesn't come easy, and it obeyed. You whispered, maybe it'll run out, and it memorized your fear as fact. But now, in this moment, heaven is inviting you to speak again, to recode the space where your energy speaks in secret. You will no longer beg in your breath. You will no longer apologize to the air, As you hand over a card, you will no longer speak debt into the divine. You will no longer imprint lack into the fold of your pocket, because now you remember. You are not just paying, you are prophesying. You are not just spending, you are spelling. Each time your hand touches your wallet, your subconscious makes a sound, and that sound is the spiritual signature your reality obeys. You didn't notice it. The way your body shrank before you opened it, the way your lips curled into worry before you even looked, the way your chest tightened as if preparing to lose something, but your wallet noticed, your supply noticed, the law of assumption noticed, and it became your loop, your echo, your invisible decree. But here, you remember again, you can choose a new voice, a new vibration, a new assumption, a new identity, and a new wallet story. Say this slowly, with the reverence of a sacred vow. My secret voice now speaks overflow. If this truth softened you, if something inside you exhaled for the first time in years, type in the comments, I now speak love into my wallet. Because now you know, money doesn't respond to your conscious script. It responds to your subconscious song, and your new song is soft, but it is sovereign, it is tender, but it is powerful. It does not beg. It remembers. It does not plead. It proclaims. Say this not with fear, but with faith. My hidden voice no longer sabotages my supply. It now serenades divine provision into form. When your subconscious shifts, your wallet changes tone. You will see it in small things first. The receipt total that surprises you with grace. The unexpected refund that feels like love. The free offering that reminds you God already decided you are supported. Then slowly, you'll see it in bigger things, in invitations you didn't force, in amounts that match your self-honor, in opportunities that mirror your rest, not your effort, because you are now speaking from the holy place, the inner temple, the sacred chamber of your truest tone. And this tone says, I am supply. I am the wealth I was waiting for. I am no longer surviving. I am already provided for. The moment you stop speaking from fear, money stops echoing fear. The moment you stop apologizing to your own power, wealth stops hiding from you. The moment your subconscious remembers that it was never abandoned, your wallet stops bracing for loss and begins preparing for overflow. Let your voice change, not only in declarations, but in sighs, in pauses, in the silence before you check your balance. Let even that space become holy. Let even your breath say, I am not afraid of supply. I am made of it. You were taught that spending was loss, that when money left your hand, something was missing, that when you gave, something disappeared. But the divine never created subtraction. Only circulation, only return, only rhythm. You are not losing. You are releasing. You are not leaking. You are flowing. You are not becoming less. You are aligning with more. You were taught to hold, to grasp, to calculate every departure like a wound. But money is not a prisoner. It is not something to cage. It is something to bless as it passes, knowing it knows the way home. Say this before you spend, and watch what returns. What I release in peace returns in power. Let the old fear melt, the fear that said, this is the last time I'll have enough. The voice that trembled every time the card tapped, as if your abundance was being siphoned instead of expanded. You were not created to count pennies like guilt. You were not designed to suffer through every transaction, as if the divine would forget your address once the money moved. Heaven never forgot you. God heard you the first time, and what you release in peace is already gathering momentum to return in power. You do not give to lose. You give to align. You give to mirror heaven's own nature, overflowing, circulating, multiplying, and never afraid to pour. When you spend, you are not shrinking. You are sowing. You are planting the proof that you trust your source more than your scarcity. And every time you speak this sacred phrase, every time you bless what leaves, you send it out with a command: return in power, return in peace, return in divine timing. Money does not leave you. It listens to you. It carries the vibration of your release. If you send it out with fear, it mirrors that. If you send it out with trust, it multiplies it. If you send it out with sacred rhythm, it circles back in divine rhythm. Say it again. What I release in peace returns in power. Your wallet is not a place of fear. It is a place of flow. It is not the exit point of your abundance. It is the portal through which miracles circulate. You are not meant to grip every dollar like it might betray you. You are meant to bless every exchange like it's a prophecy, because when you bless it, you multiply it. When you release it in peace, you invite it to return with friends. You do not spend. You anoint. You do not pay. You prophesy. You do not lose. You lead. Every time you spend, you are announcing your frequency. Are you announcing lack, or are you announcing trust? Are you declaring depletion, or are you declaring divine circulation? Feel this deeply. Money hears the spirit in which it is spent, and it returns accordingly. You are not being punished. You are being mirrored. You are not being tested. You are being echoed. You were never meant to feel guilt when giving. That was taught, not truth. You were never meant to feel dread when releasing. That was trauma, not timing. Truth over trauma, beloved. Peace over panic. This is your new spoken reality. What I release in peace returns in power. Let it ring in your chest. Let it coat your fingertips before every transaction. Let it sit in your heart like a hymn as you read. H for your purse, your card, your phone. Say it in the checkout line. Say it at the donation box. Say it when you pay the bill that used to scare you. Say it when you invest in what your soul is finally ready for. Because now, you are not just releasing money, you are releasing your past relationship with fear. You are releasing shame. You are releasing grip. You are releasing the belief that God forgets you when you give. Heaven does not forget the givers. Heaven gathers around them, surrounds them, returns to them. If you needed this release, if something inside you softened, type in the comments, I spend in sacred rhythm. This rhythm is not performance, it's remembrance. You are remembering that. Abundance is remembrance. Supply is spiritual. Circulation is worship. And peace is the container for your next overflow. Every dollar you bless becomes a disciple. It goes out with your decree, and it returns with your authority. It doesn't get lost in the wind. It finds its way back by the vibration you gave it. When you spend in fear, you send money out like a runaway child, confused, afraid, unclaimed. But when you spend in peace, you send money out like a messenger, anointed, trusted, expected. It returns with proof. It returns with partners. It returns with multiplication you didn't see coming, because peace is not passive. It is magnetic. You don't have to beg. You don't have to plead. You don't have to watch your account like a wound that won't close. You are not the one who loses. You are the one who circulates with power. Say it again. What I release in peace, return in power. This is your I am decree now. This is your holy wallet spell. This is your financial nervous system being reprogrammed, not by logic, but by love. Let your nervous system feel safe with release. Let your body feel secure in generosity. Let your inner child know that she will never be punished for giving. You do not have to shrink after spending. You do not have to panic after generosity. Your giving is not your grief. It is your gateway, because what leaves you with blessing does not leave you at all. It simply goes to gather more. Heaven already decided. You are safe to give. You are safe to release. You are safe to flow. You are not in debt with God. You are not behind. You are not late. You are aligned. Let every act of spending become a spiritual decree. Let it say, I no longer survive my finances, I command them. Let it say, I no longer panic, I prophesy. Let it say, I no longer worship money. I walk with it. Let it say, I no longer spend and suffer. I spend and shine. Because you are not here to trade your peace for your provision. You are here to declare them as one. Supply is spiritual. Abundance is remembrance. And circulation is sacred. When you spend, don't whisper fear. Whisper faith. Don't apologize. Anoint. Don't close your heart. Open your authority. God does not measure your bank account to decide your next miracle. God listens to your tone. And when your tone is trust, miracles don't just arrive, they remember you. Say it again, beloved. What I release in peace returns in power. Feel that. Let it anchor your soul when the bill is due. Let it hold you when your wallet feels light. Let it sing in your spirit when you spend on yourself, not out of lack, but out of alignment, because you are allowed to receive. You are allowed to be poured into. You are allowed to spend from fullness and expect fullness to return. You are not begging the universe. You are matching it. With every sacred word you speak, you match the memory heaven already had of you. A woman in command, a soul in truth, a heart no longer shrinking to survive. This is the rhythm of overflow. This is the circulation of the awakened. Spend, sow, declare, and watch. Watch what comes back. Watch what changes. Watch what shifts. Not just around you, but within you. You no longer spend in silence. You no longer release in fear. You no longer grip money like it might leave you. You now walk in spoken reality. You now operate by divine law. You now give like God already answered, because God did. This is not a new tool. This is an ancient remembering. You're not doing a ritual. You're reclaiming your original rhythm. Spend and smile. Spend and sing. Spend and speak. What I release in peace returns in power. And it will, because money is not your master. It is your mirror. And now, it mirrors peace. If you needed this release, if something inside you softened, if something in your chest opened again like it used to, type in the comments, I spend in sacred rhythm. Let your words be the announcement. Let your decree be the direction. Let your next purchase be the prophecy of your rising. You are not losing. You are circulating. You are not emptying. You are preparing. You are not spending. You are speaking. And money has always listened to the one who blesses as she gives. You are that one now. You remember who you are now. You spend, and overflow remembers you. You called it empty, but that was never its name. It sat in your purse like a silence misunderstood, not because it lacked something, but because it was waiting to be seen directly. The wallet was never hollow. It was holy. It was not abandoned. It was an altar awaiting your word. You called it broke, but heaven called it becoming. You called it embarrassing, but spirit whispered expectant. You see, language is not just what you speak. It is what you declare over and over in silence. It is what you name before reality takes form. And your wallet, your sacred space of circulation, has been listening to every name you've ever given it. You said, there's nothing here. But the divine replied, there is everything waiting to be remembered. Say this now. What I call empty, God calls ready. Let it echo. Let it undo the lie. Let it burn through every poverty pattern, spoken by mothers, fathers, and mouths who feared lack more than they trusted abundance. Your wallet was never poor. It was misnamed. It was called bare when it was simply waiting for breath. It was called insufficient when it was holding space for the sacred. It was called not enough when all it ever needed was to be spoken into. You were the one it was waiting on. Your decree, your tone, your truth, your willingness to see it differently. And today, you name it again, not with judgment, not with shame, but with reverence. This is not a leather pouch. It is a chamber of circulation, a temple of transaction, a sacred womb of wealth, and what you name it will multiply inside it. You are not rehearsing lack anymore. You are renaming everything. The silence inside your bag is not emptiness. It is divine potential. Say this again. My wallet is ready for overflow. You're not lying to yourself. You're revealing the truth underneath the lie. Because abundance is not a number. It is a remembrance. It doesn't start when money shows up. It starts when identity returns. You forgot for a moment, but heaven didn't. You panicked for a moment, but God didn't. You called it zero, but the divine called it pure beginning. And in that pure beginning, a shift begins. You stop checking your balance like it's your destiny. You stop cursing the quiet. You stop calling the space between paychecks not enough. You stop rehearsing disappointment like it's your only language. You start naming things again as spirit sees them, as heaven wrote them, as your highest self remembers them. You don't speak over your wallet with fear. You speak over it like an oracle. You say, this is sacred space. This is holy ground. This is where money comes to be blessed, not begged. This is where overflow is announced, not doubted. This is where I plant, not where I panic. And when you speak like that, money listens, because money is not moved by emotion. It is moved by energy. It does not chase desperation. It returns to reverence. Your wallet has ears, and it's been waiting for the music of your truth, not the noise of your fear. Say this out loud if your body feels it. I name this wallet holy. I name this space worthy. I name my supply divine. I name my reality abundant. Say it again. Say it like a key unlocking your own subconscious, because your language is not casual. It is creation. And every time you called your wallet empty, you weren't just observing. You were prophesying. Not anymore. That spell is broken, and a new decree begins. If this truth just softened something inside you, type this in the comments now. My wallet is ready for overflow. Let your fingers agree with your voice. Let your voice agree with heaven. Let your reality agree with remembrance. You are not asking for money. You are aligning with it. You are not hoping for change. You are becoming it. You are not chasing abundance. You are commanding it by naming what is already yours. Keep naming. Keep blessing. Keep rewriting the subconscious phrases that used to bind you. You are the one who speaks now. And when you speak, reality reforms. You never needed more money to feel rich. You needed new language. The old words you whispered in checkout lines, in quiet car rides, in midnight panic prayers, those were spells too. I don't have enough. I can't afford that. I'm always behind. Do you remember how heavy they felt, even as they left your lips? Do you remember the ache of speaking against yourself and calling it realistic? That was never your truth. That was trauma rehearsing itself through the mouth of your survival self. But you are no longer surviving. You are remembering. You are reclaiming the power of sacred speech, and you are choosing now to name things as spirit sees them. Your wallet is not an accident. It is a listening space. It is where you echo God's promises back and to matter. So today, instead of calling it empty, you name it expectant. You name it prepared. You name it holy. You name it womb-like. Because what's womb-like isn't void. It's divine. It's full of unseen life waiting to be delivered. That's what your wallet has always been, a sacred space in gestation. And today, you no longer mistake silence for absence. You no longer mistake stillness for punishment. You no longer mistake not yet for never. Say this softly as your new spoken reality. What I call empty, God calls ready. Let that become your anchor. Let it rewrite the panic. Let it disarm the doubt. You were never behind. You were always being positioned. Even when your wallet felt quiet, God was not quiet about you. Even when your card declined, your worth didn't. Even when your balance read low, your identity stayed high. This was always a naming issue, not a numbers issue. The numbers bowed to the names you gave them. They moved in rhythm with your remembrance. And now you are naming overflow. Not out of fantasy, out of frequency, out of divine instruction, because heaven already said yes. You just needed to stop calling it no. Let your voice be the signal. Let your wallet hear a new prophecy. Say this aloud even if your bank app still whispers fear. I no longer speak lack into sacred spaces. I now speak overflow into what holds me. My wallet is not a container. It is a confirmation. Every time you bless it, it remembers what it was made for. Circulation, multiplication, ease, overflow, sacred movement, divine return. The old spell of not enough is crumbling now. The identity of I always struggle is dissolving. The language of fear is being replaced by the decree of divinity. Your wallet is now a sacred altar where your wealth comes to remember its instructions. It remembers how to find you. It remembers how to flow. It remembers what your spirit said before the fear spoke. And your spirit never said empty. Your spirit said, watch what fills. Your spirit said, bless what holds space. Your spirit said, I name it ready. Pause with that truth. Let it drip into your bones. Let your nervous system soften around it. This is your new baseline. This is your new belief. This is your new language. No more jokes about being broke. No more rehearsing struggle in casual conversation. No more laughing through pain as proof of toughness. You're not performing survival anymore. You're preparing for sacred overflow. And it begins right here with the naming. Every time you reach for your wallet, let it be a ritual, not a reaction. Speak to it like it's alive, because it is. Say, you are ready for good things. You are blessed beyond logic. You are a magnet for divine wealth. You are the altar of my new life. And let those words become your rhythm, your remembering, your reprogramming. If this remembrance just opened something inside you, if it felt like a warm truth returning, type this into the comments and let the energy ripple outward. My wallet is ready for overflow. Let the algorithm echo your I am. Let the digital world carry your decree. Let the universe know you've renamed what the world forgot was sacred. You are not in lack. You are in language. And that language now speaks as God does, with reverence, with power, with truth, with vision. Your wallet is not waiting on money. It's waiting on memory. The memory of what it truly is. A space for miracles. Resting place for favor. A confirmation of your trust. An extension of your identity. Call it that. Bless it like that. Speak over it like heaven already said yes, because it did. And you? You just remembered. You were never greedy. You were never unworthy. You were never the problem. You were just never taught that money needs love too. Money is not a transaction. It is a relationship. It feels your tone. It remembers your words. It stays where it feels honored. It returns to where it is not cursed. Money is a child, not a servant. It listens like a friend, not a machine. It responds to blessing, not bitterness. And now you remember. You remember that every time you insulted it, you weren't just venting, you were weaving spells. Spells of repulsion, spells of resistance, spells of rejection in disguise. But how could you know? You were just trying to survive, trying to outrun the echo of not enough. Trying to guard yourself from the grief of watching it go too fast. But what if money left, not because it hated you, but because it didn't feel safe with you? What if your criticism was mistaken for rejection? What if your panic was mistaken for punishment? What if your silence was mistaken for shame? Money is not evil. Money is not cruel. Money is listening, always. It listens not to the loudest part of you, but the truest part of you. It listens to your voice in the unseen places, in the prayer closets, in the nervous system, in the breath before you open the bill, in the mutter under your breath, when you see the price tag, and it hears it all. So today, you soften your voice, you shift the tone, you bless what you used to brace against. You say softly, I bless my money, and it feels safe to stay. Let the vibration of that sentence enter the marrow. Let it rewire the old scripts. Let it be your new reality. Money stays where it feels seen. Money stays where it feels safe. Money stays where it is spoken to with love. Have you ever watched a child run toward the voice that smiles? Money does the same. It returns where it was welcomed. It multiplies where it was praised. It rests where it is not feared. Every, ugh, where did it go? Every, this is never enough. Every, I hate money. Those were alarms to its spirit. They weren't your fault. They were your trauma speaking. But now, you are no longer surviving. You are remembering. And in this memory, you speak with reverence. You speak like Florence. You speak like the God within. Say this with your next receipt. Money, thank you for staying. Say this with your next payment. May you return multiplied. Say this when you see your wallet. You are a resting place for divine wealth. And speak it like a mother singing over her child. Speak it like a queen blessing her kingdom. Speak it like heaven already decided, because it did. If this softened your heart, if it feels like truth dressed in velvet, type this now in the comments and let it become your agreement. Money is safe with me, because now it is. Now you are. You are not the anxious one anymore. You are the anointed one. You are not the beggar at the gate. You are the speaker of gates opening. You are not chasing money down the street. You are preparing a table where it rests, because wealth is not speed. It is safety. It is spiritual. It is relational. And it begins with voice. Not loud voice. Not fake voice. Sacred voice. Soft voice. Honest voice. The voice that remembers divine wealth was always your birthright. The voice that knows you are no longer here to hustle for worth. The voice that says, I bless what blesses me. I honor what honors me. I welcome what once walked away because I didn't know how to speak to it. And that's the truth now. You know, money is not afraid of you anymore. It is magnetized to you because the one who cursed it is gone, and the one who blesses it has finally come home. You can cry now. That's okay. That's sacred too. Tears are currency for healing. Tears tell the universe you're not resisting anymore. Let your nervous system hear this. You don't have to yell to be wealthy. You don't have to prove to be blessed. You don't have to fear the next transaction. You are the temple. You are the flow. You are the blessing. You are the reason money feels safe to stay. Let every payment now be a poem. Let every receipt now be a reminder. Let every dollar now feel your reverence. Say it again like a lullaby. I bless my money, and it feels safe to stay. That's it. That's the shift. That's the reprogramming. That's the spell of safety spoken aloud. The relationship has changed. The tone has shifted. The trust has returned. And money is listening. Money is circling. Money is remembering that this is the voice it's been waiting for. And this time, it stays. You never agreed to lack, but someone taught you to believe you did. They handed you the silence and called it humility. They handed you survival and called it virtue. They handed you a scarcity identity and dared to call it wisdom, but it was never yours. You inherited a story, but tonight you return it. You carried a contract that your soul never signed. You are not bound to poverty. You are not tethered to limitation. You are not the echo of someone else's shame. Say this now. With the authority heaven gave you, I am no longer in covenant with lack. Pause. Feel what just broke. You didn't just say a sentence. You spoke a severance. You cut ties with a curse that never belonged to you. You reversed the rhythm that played in the background of your lineage. You became the one who remembered what abundance always sounded like. This moment, this holy whisper, rewrote the contract. You're not cursed. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You're free. Not because you tried harder, not because you earned it, but because you finally declared it. You used the one thing lack could never imitate, a voice awakened by identity. And in this dimension of remembrance, sound moves faster than sight, decrees shift reality before your hands even touch the evidence. Your declaration carries God's echo, and when you cancel lack, you resurrect supply. Say it again, slower this time. Let your soul hear it. I am no longer in covenant with lack. Let it ring through your body, through the memory of lack stored in your chest, through the old agreements still lingering in your wallet, through the silent promises you made when life told you it was too late, too much, or not meant for you. This is the unbinding. This is the burning of the old scrolls. This is the return of your name to the original book of supply. There is no lack in heaven, and heaven lives in you. You were not born to budget your blessings. You were not made to whisper your desires in fear. You were not shaped by the divine just to become another echo of not enough. No. You were formed by overflow, conceived by sufficiency, encoded with divine supply, and the only thing that ever interrupted it was the belief that you had to earn what was already yours. But that belief ends now, with breath, with sound, with surrender. You are not trying to become abundant. You are remembering that you always were. Say this: I now remember the wealth that made me. Let it breathe through your being. Let it land like a signature across your entire story. You're not negotiating with money. You're revealing its memory of you. Because money, like you, responds to truth. Yes. Money like you is coded with safety. Money like you remembers the sound of love. And when you bless it, when you speak to it without shame, it listens, it waits, it multiplies, it returns. Say this now, if you feel the shift. I cancel lack with my voice. Let it be known in every realm, in every pattern, in every fear. You don't belong to what you survived. You belong to what God declared, and what God declared was never lack. It was never scraping by. It was never waiting for scraps or apologizing for asking. No, God said yes. God said now. God said you. And tonight, so do you. If your bones remember lack, remind them of supply. If your nervous system flinches at generosity, retrain it with softness. You're not broken. You're reawakening. You're not lost. You're recalibrating. You're not late. You're right on divine time. Say it again. From the place in you that was told to stay small, I am no longer in covenant with lack. Let every dollar you touch feel this truth. Let your wallet absorb this reversal. Let your bank account be baptized by the sound of remembrance. You're not just building wealth. You are reclaiming spiritual inheritance, not from force, not from hustle, but from identity. You are divine supply in human form. You are overflow wrapped in a body. You are the voice that reverses what was never real. Lack is not your law. Overflow is. Heaven already decided. Now you must speak accordingly. Type this below if your body just softened. I cancel lack with my voice. And then say it one last time. For your mother's struggle, for your father's silence, for every version of you that didn't know how to ask. I am no longer in covenant with lack. How many times did you say, I'm sorry, without even noticing it? I'm sorry I can't buy that. I'm sorry I need this. I'm sorry I spent too much. I'm sorry for wanting more. But what if I told you? Your wallet never asked for your guilt. It asked for your truth. You weren't born to feel shame for being a vessel of divine wealth. You weren't born to explain away your desires like they were sins. You've been apologizing to the very river you were born to swim in, but not anymore. Say this with your whole heart. I owe no apology for my abundance. Let that land. Let that echo. Let that rearrange the guilt you inherited from those who didn't know they were worthy either. You do not have to feel bad for needing. You do not have to feel bad for wanting. You do not have to feel bad for receiving. Abundance is not selfish. It's sacred. It's spiritual. It's your birthright. And every time you say sorry for spending on yourself, for choosing what feels aligned, for saying yes to joy instead of bare survival, you reinforce the lie that you are somehow too much for the very blessings that were assigned to you. But guilt is not the language of heaven. Worry is not the code of worthiness. You were never meant to shame yourself into abundance. You were meant to remember that worth doesn't need permission to exist. Take a breath. And say it again, slower this time. I owe no apology for my abundance. Say it like you're speaking to every dollar you once spent in fear. Say it like you're soothing the version of you that thought she had to suffer to be spiritual. Say it like you're finally speaking to the woman who's not surviving anymore. There's a wallet inside your soul that's been holding its breath. It never wanted perfection. It wanted presence. It never needed guilt. It needed identity. You've been giving money your fear instead of your name. You've been giving money your regret instead of your remembrance. But money doesn't stay where it feels blamed. It stays where it feels safe to bless. And you are the safety it's been waiting for. You are the frequency that tells money. You are not a burden. You are a reflection of how I love myself. The world told you to be humble, but they mistook guilt for humility. They mistook self-erasure for spiritual strength. But God never asked you to apologize for wealth. God asked you to embody it. You are not guilty for being supplied. You are not greedy for being grateful. You are not materialistic for being magnetic. You are divine remembrance. You are sacred circulation. You are the place where money gets to feel safe again. Now breathe and declare with holy reverence, I no longer shrink in the presence of abundance. I choose worth over worry. And if that truth lifted even a sliver of your guilt, type it in the comments now. Let it be your spoken reality. I choose worth over worry. Because this is not just about money. It's about how you speak to yourself when no one's watching. It's about how you justify your joy, like it's an accident, instead of a frequency you now command. You were created in the image of overflow. Every time you say sorry for spending, you train your subconscious to believe you're not allowed to enjoy. But enjoyment is not sin. Joy is not rebellion. Sufficiency is not arrogance. You are here to enjoy your inheritance, not tiptoe around it. Every time you apologize for abundance, you hand your wallet a message it can't translate. Because guilt speaks a different language than divine wealth. Your wallet doesn't need your shame. It needs your sovereignty. It needs your soft yes. It needs your gentle claim. There is no law that says you must explain every dollar you choose in alignment. There is no judge in the sky counting your purchases. There is only love. And love says this, you are safe to spend. You are safe to want. You are safe to be well supplied. Because the supply is not the problem. The shame is. But today, you release it. You declare a new emotional economy. One where peace replaces apology. One where confidence replaces confession. Say it now, into your heart, into your wallet, into the ancestral silence you were raised in. I owe no apology for my abundance. You are not stealing from the world when you receive. You are showing the world what remembrance looks like. You are not taking too much. You are allowing what has always been yours to finally return. And if anyone ever made you feel guilty for wanting, for having, for shining, forgive them. They didn't know. They were worthy either. But you do now. You know who you are, and you know what you carry. So walk into the store with softness. Open your wallet with sacred reverence. Release the guilt that no longer matches your frequency. And instead of whispering, sorry, whisper thank you. Whisper, I trust. Whisper, I am. Your abundance is not something to explain. It's something to embody. You are no longer surviving. You are set. Percolating. You are not under obligation. You are under anointing. Let this be your decree. Let this be your remembrance. Say it one last time, I owe no apology for my abundance. And if this transmission lifted something deep within you, if the guilt began to melt, if the truth began to sing, declare it below with your voice. I choose worth over worry, because today you remembered, and that's the only approval you ever needed. There is a sound you've been holding in your throat, not a scream, not a whisper, a decree, a holy announcement, a vibrational code the universe has been waiting to obey, because heaven does not respond to your effort. It responds to your authority, and authority is not earned. It is remembered. You've begged before. You've pleaded before. You've overworked, overgave, and overflowed from depletion, hoping money would come out of pity. But supply does not follow pain. It follows power. Say this now, and say it as if heaven already decided. I declare overflow, and it responds in full. Feel the shift? That's your divine economy adjusting. That's your spiritual invoice being printed in real time, because every time you speak, you write a code. Every word you release is a check written in the invisible. And money is just waiting for the signature of your decree. You've been taught to request, to apply, to qualify. But here is the truth your soul never forgot. You are not here to qualify. You are here to call it forth. The ones who remember their voice do not chase what already belongs. They declare and they collect. Say it again with clarity. I collect what I declare. And if this truth ignited something in you, if it relit the part of you that forgot she had permission to command, type it now in the comments below. I collect what I declare. Because this moment is not about more hustle. It's about new holiness. And your holiness sounds like power. Your holiness sounds like command, not control, not aggression, but sacred knowing. The lion does not apologize when she roars. The ocean does not negotiate before it waves. And you, beloved, you do not need to hesitate when your soul says, call it in, because spoken reality was always the secret, and your voice is the receipt that proves it's already been paid. You are not trying to convince God. You are reminding creation what you and heaven already agreed on before time began. You are not applying. You are authorizing. You are not hoping. You are remembering. So say it as one who knows. I declare overflow, and it responds in full. This is not a chant. This is not a mantra. This is law. And law does not ask if it's convenient. Law does not wait until you feel worthy. Law responds to clarity. Law responds to faith. Law responds to I am. You don't chase money. You call it in. You don't beg for provision. You return to your position. You don't barter with God. You speak with God's authority. That's why money shows up faster when you stop asking and start declaring, because the Spirit knows no delay. It only knows obedience. You thought you were working for money, but money was waiting for your mouth. You thought you had to try harder, but all along, you just had to speak truer. Speak now, beloved, not with effort, with embodiment. Speak as one who is sent. Speak as one who is done hiding behind politeness. Speak as one who is not afraid of what she already owns. Say it again, slow, sacred, sovereign. I declare overflow, and it responds in full. Because your tongue writes contracts in the unseen. Your breath is a signature. Your belief is the seal. And when it is declared in divine alignment, it must be fulfilled. God cannot go back on a voice spoken in remembrance. You are not lost. You are not behind. You are not empty. You are right on divine schedule to speak what must now return. You've declared for others. You've prayed for strangers. You've affirmed for your children. Now declare for yourself, not as a favor, but as a fact, not as a whisper, but as a weapon. Your voice is the gate. Say this, not to the air, but to the pattern that used to keep you quiet. I am no longer surviving. I now walk in divine supply. Your bank account doesn't shift when you obsess. It shifts when you open your mouth with holy fire. The poverty contract was signed in silence. The wealth covenant is signed in sound. Your declaration breaks the contract. Your word opens the vault. Say this: I declare my wealth, and it remembers my name. And so it is. Say it until every cell remembers who you are. You don't need to see it yet. You don't need proof to speak prophecy. You are not performing. You are commanding. You are issuing the sacred invoice for what was always promised. And heaven pays every bill that carries the seal of divine identity. So walk forward, not with waiting, but with witness. Declare until it recognizes you. Declare until it reorganizes for you. Declare until lack has no language to cling to. Declare until even silence becomes supply. This is not fantasy. This is spoken reality. This is the I am decree that turns invisible provision into physical overflow. You are not behind. You are on the threshold. You are not unworthy. You are the embodiment. You are not unsure. You are the instrument. And when the instrument speaks, the universe plays. Now breathe. Say it as your closing seal. I declare overflow, and it responds in full. Say it again as the wind carries it. Say it again like it's already echoing through the timeline. Say it again like heaven just said yes, because it did. And if this sacred remembering ignited your authority, if your throat feels clear, if your soul just shouted, finally, let the world know. Declare it with your voice. Declare it in the comments now. I collect what I declare, because this time you will. This time it obeys. This time your command has already been received, and payment is already in process. Your wallet remembers how you treat it. It remembers every time it was tossed into a drawer, buried under receipts, closed without gratitude, opened with apology. And maybe that's why it started staying silent, because money, just like any living energy, pulls away when it feels neglected. You thought it was empty, but maybe it was just unheard. You thought it was unblessed, but maybe it was just unseen. You thought it wasn't giving, but maybe you stopped honoring what it already gave. This is the divine law. You weren't taught in school. Attention is currency, and what you ignore ignores you back. The same way a friend pulls away when her presence is dismissed. The same way a child grows quiet when his joy is overlooked. Money, too, withholds its affection when it is treated like burden. Your wallet is not just a container. It is a conversation. It listens. It remembers. It reflects your frequency every time you touch it. And if you've been reaching for it, with shame in your fingers, with fear in your breath, with dread in your eyes, it felt that. It wasn't being difficult. It was being loyal to your unspoken agreement. It matched your voice. It mirrored your neglect. But this is not a rebuke. This is a resurrection. Because you can change the entire energetic contract with one breath of reverence. Say this now. What I honor honors me back. Feel the way the air softens. Feel how even silence starts to pay attention when you do. This is your return to spiritual noticing. This is your homecoming to sacred sight. Pick up your wallet like you're holding a prophecy. Touch it like you're touching your future. Speak over it as if every word becomes a law it must obey. You don't need more money to be more reverent. You need more reverence to remember you already carry divine supply, because the wallet is not dead. It is waiting. Waiting for worship. Waiting for worth. Waiting for words spoken, not in fear, but in faith. Say this with your breath, Cain, not your brain. I now see my wallet with reverence, and if something shifted in your soul just now, if your chest opened like a door you didn't know you closed, if your hands suddenly feel softer, type these words in the comments below, like an altar offering. I now see my wallet with reverence, because what you recognize begins to rise again. Money is not just economic, it is emotional. And your attention is how you anoint it. When you leave it crumpled and cold, it forgets how to warm you. But when you pause and breathe and bless, you build a sanctuary where supply wants to dwell. What if your wallet was waiting, not for more cash, but for more care? What if your overflow was already parked outside but refused to enter because the home wasn't ready? Not clean, not seen, not loved. You don't decorate a house after the guest arrives. You prepare before. So prepare. Not with hustle, with honor. Prepare the way with beauty, with presence, with thanksgiving. Open your wallet like a temple. Not because of how much is inside, but because of who it belongs to. Your source was never the currency. It was the covenant. And the covenant says, what you honor honors you back. So speak life over your wallet. Bless it before you fill it. Smile before you open it. Touch it like it's holy, because it is. Every dollar has memory. Every coin has consciousness. Every card holds the signature of your identity. You don't worship the money. You honor the presence of supply. And you remember that your wallet is not just yours. It's God's delivery system. Would you ignore a miracle if it arrived in a plain envelope? Would you rush past a messenger because their shoes were dusty? Then why have you dismissed the sacred just because it looked small? Your wallet is not empty. It is asking to be seen. And the moment you bless it, truly bless it, you begin to magnetize what belongs. Because supply flows where reverence lives, and overflow comes where attention lingers. It doesn't need your perfection. It doesn't need a show. It needs your seeing. So see it. Right now. Even if you don't want to. Even if it's hard. Even if you feel guilt or grief or shame when you touch it. See it anyway. That's how you reclaim it. That's how you rewire the agreement. That's how you reawaken the supply that has always been loyal to your voice. Say this with reverence, not repetition. What I honor honors me back. Not just money, but time, but breath, but friendships, but life. Honor opens the gates. Honor ends the drought. Honor reminds the invisible, I see you. And when you see supply, it returns the gaze. It multiplies what is visible. It translates faith into form. That is the law. That is the code. That is the contract. And the contract is now active. So breathe, not fast, sacred. Lay your hand over your wallet like you're praying for someone you love. Say this, not from obligation, but from embodiment. I now see my wallet with reverence. Say it until your wallet opens by itself. Say it until every dollar that ever left starts finding its way back. Say it until money doesn't feel like a stranger, but like a friend who just needed to be noticed. You are the keeper of the altar, the one who makes the ordinary extraordinary through sacred attention. Your attention is the incense. Your honor is the fragrance. Your love is the magnet. And now that you've remembered, now that you've come back to seeing, watch how fast the forgotten becomes faithful again. Watch how your wallet starts speaking in overflow, because now it's finally being heard. Your wallet remembers things you tried to forget. It holds more than cards, more than bills, more than coins. It holds moments, versions, echoes of who you used to be. It holds the you who cried while paying rent with hands that shook like broken wings. It holds the you who asked God for help while sliding the last dollar forward like a prayer wrapped in paper. It holds the you who felt small in grocery store lines, counting every breath as you counted every cent. It holds the silence of things you didn't say when you wanted to scream. This isn't who I'm meant to be. But even silence leaves fingerprints. Even pain leaves residue. Even prayers, unanswered at the time, fold themselves into the fabric of what you carry. This is not about guilt. This is not about shame. This is about reverence. For the memory keeper you've been holding in your purse without knowing. Your wallet has been whispering your past back to you. Not because it wants you to relive it, but because it wants to be rewritten. It cannot forget until you speak a new story. It cannot release until you declare a new reality. The folds of your wallet are lined with survival, receipts of resilience, tears turned into thread that stitch together your becoming. And now you get to decide if you will let those threads unravel or if you will weave them into gold. Say this slowly, like you're exhaling a lifetime. I rewrite the memory my wallet holds. Say it again. Not to convince the world, but to tell the version of you still living in that memory that she can rest now. She did not fail. She survived so you could remember. And now that you've remembered, you get to choose again. This is what sacred reprogramming looks like. Not ignoring what happened, but laying hands on the history and calling it healed. Take a breath, not the kind that's rushed. The kind that is slow, deep, sacred, like spirit writing on your bones. Your wallet has been a diary, a vessel of vibration, a coded map of your past choices and unconscious agreements. But today, you declare amnesty. Today, you lay down the identity of the struggler and pick up the cloak of the receiver, because you are no longer surviving. You are remembering, and abundance. Abundance is remembrance. The you who was afraid, she didn't know she was divine. The you who apologized every time she spent, she didn't know she was worthy. The you who flinched at the price of things, she didn't know that sup. Supply was spiritual, not circumstantial. But you know now. And knowing rewrites everything. Say it again, not with your lips, but with your life. I rewrite the memory my wallet holds. If you feel your shoulders soften, if you feel your breath return to your belly, if you feel a piece of your story being released without needing to be retold, type this into the comments below as a ceremony for your soul. I heal my history with money. Because history is not fixed. It's fluid. It listens to your voice and reshapes itself under the weight of a new decree. Declare it. I no longer carry shame in this wallet. I no longer carry struggle in this wallet. I no longer carry silence in this wallet. I now carry truth. I now carry honor. I now carry wealth by identity. You are not here to budget your worth. You are not here to coupon your value. You are not here to shrink to match the limitation of a past story that was never even yours. Lack is a lie. It only ever repeated what you forgot to rewrite. But now you are awake. Now you are sacred. Now you are soft and powerful and open. And so is your wallet. Because the moment you remember who you are, everything you touch remembers who it is too. Your wallet is not just healed, it's holy. And every time you bless it, you're blessing the girl you once were and the future you are now claiming. Let the old receipts go. Let the old energy go. Let the old lack language burn in the altar of this breath. And say this again, like it's the final word on every false agreement you ever made. I rewrite the memory my wallet holds. If this made you cry, you're safe. If this made you exhale, you're ready. If this made you see yourself, you've already begun. You don't need more proof. You just need to speak, the kind of truth that breaks contracts with survival and signs a new covenant with wealth. Your wealth was never Wada, in the external. It was buried in your voice. And now you've spoken. Heaven heard it. Your wallet felt it. Your old identity released it. And your new one? She walks in divine supply. Your wallet is not just fabric, not just leather, not just a stitched container of earthly exchange. It is sanctuary, a sacred tabernacle you carry in silence, touched with doubt, handled with haste, but waiting to be remembered as holy. Every time your fingers reach for it, they're not just touching currency, they're touching covenant. A covenant between you and the divine that says, I am supported, I am supplied, I am sent. But no one ever told you your wallet was an altar. No one ever told you money was the servant of spirit, not the master of men. No one ever told you that when you reach for your wallet, you're really reaching for proof that heaven still remembers your name. So you stopped treating it with reverence. You began to rush the ritual. You began to open it like a burden, not a blessing. But not anymore. Now you remember. Say this out loud and say it slowly, like you are entering sacred ground. I treat my wallet as holy ground. Let it echo through your body. Let it dissolve every old belief that made you treat wealth as separate from worship. You see, the divine does not hide in temples made by hands. The divine hides in the ordinary, waiting to be noticed, in the folded crease of your wallet, in the zipper you rushed past, in the receipt you nearly threw away, without blessing the memory it holds. Your wallet is not neutral. It is a mirror. It reflects the frequency you've been carrying in silence. When you treat it like clutter, it echoes chaos. When you treat it like fear, it responds in hesitation. But when you hold it like you are holding something sacred, like you are touching the living evidence of supply remembering you, it opens, it breathes, it multiplies. Because anything you call holy heals. Anything you anoint with attention responds in glory. The divine is not offended by money. The divine flows through it like breath in a whisper, like light through stained glass, like miracles through skin. If God is supply, then every dollar in your wallet is divine. Not because of the number printed on it, but because of the word you speak over it. This is spoken reality. This is sacred economics. This is what Florence meant when she said, "Your word is your wand. You are not begging money to love you. You are blessing it as it obeys heaven's decree through you." Take a breath. Let it be soft. Let it be slow. Let it feel like permission to worship without shame. And now say this, with the tone of royalty remembering itself, "Money is God's servant in my hand. Let the truth sit. Let it break the chains of old religious guilt. Let it melt the shame that said wealth was pride or sin or corruption. That was never truth. That was trauma. And you don't serve trauma. You serve truth. You serve remembrance. You serve supply. You serve the sacred. And now, money serves you. Because the one who knows who she is never has to chase what belongs to her. Speak to your wallet like it is listening. Because it is. Speak to it like you would speak to a child you are teaching how to trust again. Speak to it like you would speak to a temple. Soft, slow, and without apology. Say this gently every time you pick it up. You are holy. You are full. You are ready. Let it become normal to treat wealth like worship. Let it become natural to reach for your wallet like you are entering sacred space. Because you are. You are the church. You are the altar. You are the miracle in motion. Heaven already decided. God already said yes. Now you just have to match the vibration. And reverence. Reverence is the match. This is not about superstition. This is not about manipulation. This is about relationship. You are building a relationship with your supply. Not with numbers, not with transactions, but with the spiritual substance behind them. That substance hears you, feels you, responds to you, and it waits for the moment you stop asking and start honoring. So start now. Start with the smallest motion. Start with the wallet in your hand, clean it, bless it. Hold it like you would hold your grandmother's Bible or your child's first drawing. Because reverence isn't about perfection, it's about presence. And presence heals everything. If this feels sacred, if this stirred something in you, type this now in the comments below. Money is God's servant in my hand. Let it be a ritual. Let it be a remembrance. Let it be the moment you cross the threshold from hustle to holiness. Because when you honor what carries supply, supply honors you back. This is the shift. This is the decree. This is the return to what you always knew but were never allowed to say out loud. You can say it now. You can live it now. You can walk with wealth without fear of being misunderstood, because truth needs no defense, just demonstration. So demonstrate reverence. Demonstrate sacred relationship. Demonstrate wealth as the echo of identity remembered. Your wallet is no longer just a thing you carry. It is now the container of your new covenant. Treat it accordingly. It is the ark of your testimony. It is the holding place of answered prayer. It is the resting ground for divine supply that has nowhere else to go but to you. Let this be the day you stop treating money as something separate from God. Let this be the hour you stop treating your wallet as something small. Let this be the moment you rise into royalty and declare without apology, I treat my wallet as holy ground, and so it is. You keep asking for confirmation while holding a message in your hand, a folded bill, a quiet coin, a receipt that lingered too long in your wallet. You thought it was leftover, but it was a prophecy waiting to be read. Every dollar has a voice. Every dollar has a memory. Every dollar has a mission, and it has been trying to speak to you. But you were too busy begging to realize you were already being spoken to. You were looking at numbers, but God was using frequencies. You were watching balances, but heaven was measuring belief. This is not money. This is movement. This is memory in motion. This is divine instruction wrapped in green and gold. It is not paper. It is permission. Permission to rise, permission to declare, permission to remember that wealth was never a chase. It was always a conversation. And the question is, are you listening? Because every dollar carries vibration. Every transaction is a teacher. Every moment you give or receive is encoded with remembrance. When you spend in fear, money speaks lack. When you spend in joy, money sings provision. When you touch it with guilt, it recoils. When you hold it with honor, it returns. Every dollar knows your tone. Every dollar remembers your subconscious. Every dollar has ears. Say this out loud. I hear the wisdom money brings me. Again, slower this time. I hear the wisdom money brings me. Because money doesn't just respond to action, it responds to attention. And you've been giving it silence. You've been asking for more while ignoring what you already hold. You've been shouting at the sky while money whispers in your palm. It's been trying to tell you, I am not your proof. I am your mirror. Do you hear that? It says, stop waiting for permission. Start making proclamation. It says, call me holy and I will obey. Call me evil and I will flee. It says, I came because you spoke. I left because you apologized. It says, I remember your declarations. I remember your tears. I remember the first time you said, I am not enough. And I had no choice but to agree. But money is not here to punish you. It is not a judge. It is not your jailer. It is your messenger, your echo, your divine servant. It takes your word and delivers it to your reality. It is not here to lead you. It is here to follow. So speak clearly. Speak with reverence. Speak as if every syllable wraps itself in gold and flies back into your wallet multiplied. Say this out loud. I speak as one who receives. Say it again. I speak as one who is already supplied. Your bank account is not your God. Your wallet is not your worth. But both can become altars when your voice becomes sacred. So tell the money what it means. Don't just count it. Consecrate it. Don't just spend it. Send it. Send it with love. Send it with instruction. Send it with blessing. Because money hears your fear, but it also hears your faith. It carries it. It memorizes it. It becomes it. Every dollar that leaves your hand tells the universe what kind of reality to return. So what is your money saying about you? Is it telling the truth of your I am, or is it repeating the fear you forgot to cancel? This is not about budgeting. This is about believing. This is not about discipline. This is about declaration. What if every dollar you touch is a soldier waiting for your command? What if heaven already decided to move through your hands, but your silence delayed the flow? What if your voice is the only gatekeeping your wealth? Then this is the moment to open. Say this with breath. Every dollar is divine instruction, and I am listening now. Let the tears come. Let the memory rise. Let the fear dissolve. Let the guilt melt. You are not broken. You were just distracted. And now you are home. This is the moment your wallet becomes a sanctuary. This is the moment your money becomes your ministry. This is the moment your words become your wealth. Feel it now, in your hands, in your chest, in your soul. Let the old stories fall. Let the subconscious be rewired. Let your nervous system relax into remembrance. You are not too late. You are not too much. You are not lacking. You are not disqualified. You are chosen. You are remembered. You are the voice that money obeys. If you feel this truth, type in the comments. Every dollar carries divine instruction. And now, receive. Breathe in as one who is no longer surviving. Breathe out as one who is already supplied. And when you open your wallet again, don't ask if it's full. Ask if it's faithful, because you've now remembered how to speak to it, and it has been waiting for the sound of your return. You were never poor. You were programmed. Lack was not in your wallet. It was not in your paycheck. It was not in the numbers on a screen. It was in your declarations. It was in the language you repeated when no one was watching. It was in the way you whispered, "I can't afford that. I don't know how. I'm just trying to make it." Every time you said those words, the universe replied, "As you wish," not because it punished you, but because it obeyed you. You didn't attract lack. You instructed it, and it listened. The spell wasn't in your wallet. The spell was in your words, because words build worlds. Words shape memory. Words become matter. And when you said, "I'm broke," heaven didn't argue. When you said, "I never have enough," God didn't correct you. Creation doesn't interfere with your decree. It fulfills a. You've arrived here not to learn, but to remember what was never lost. Your hands, though tired from grasping, were always holy enough to carry wealth. Your voice, though silenced by lack, was always sovereign enough to command it. And your wallet, that sacred vessel you once feared to open, has been waiting for the one who knows they are wealth itself. You tried to convince the world. You tried to hustle for proof. You tried to manifest like a beggar, praying through clenched teeth, acting from the wound, not the throne, but heaven never asked for your performance, only your permission. And now, you give it. Now, you remember. You are not the one who hopes for money. You are the one money hopes to serve. You are not the one who watches the bank. You are the bank that spirit funds. You are not the one who calculates and fears. You are the one who declares and collects. Because you are not wealth's student. You are wealth's origin. Say it now. I am the source that supply responds to. Let your voice be the final unlocking. Let the wallet know who speaks to it now. Let it tremble in reverence when it hears your tone, not because of the bills inside, but because of the I am behind them. You no longer ask to receive, you declare, and it is done. You no longer peek into your purse wondering if overflow will appear. You open it with joy, because wealth follows awareness, and you are fully aware. You are the wealth. No more whispering in fear, no more apologizing before you buy, no more counting dollars like you're counting sins, no more blessing others while cursing your own name, no more surviving with sacred lungs, no more bargaining with what already belongs to you, no more acting like overflow forgot your address. You are the address. If this remembered you, type this in the comments right now. I am no longer surviving. I am the wealth. Because there is a moment when the old language dies, a holy silence where lack takes its final breath, where the begging voice you once wore dissolves into dust, and your true name, the one that wealth kneels before, rises like morning sun through your mouth. You are not becoming abundance. You always were. It was never in your job, your launch, your partner, your credit score, or bank app. It was in your I am. It was in your knowing. It was in your memory. And now you remember too deeply to pretend otherwise. Say this out loud. I am not waiting for money. Money has always been waiting for me to remember. And now that you have remembered, the wallet has no choice. It obeys the voice that knows. It bends to the breath that commands. It responds to the rhythm of certainty. And you are certain now. Continue? You no longer vibrate in hesitation. You no longer echo in almost. You no longer drip in apology when the desire to receive rises like fire in your chest. You are not confused. You are not unsure. You are not negotiating. You are not explaining. You are not proving. You are deciding. You are declaring. You are dwelling in the I am, and supply knows when it's heard. You speak, and it organizes. You affirm, and it responds. You praise, and it arrives. You remember, and it gathers. No more effort to feel worthy. No more waiting to be clean enough, good enough, ready enough. You are the readiness. You are the receiver. You are the decree made flesh. Say this with breath. Heaven already decided. I now agree. Because your agreement is the doorway that unlocks all form. Your agreement is the silence that ends all lack. Your agreement is the voice your wallet obeys. And when you unzip it now, you're not checking for dollars. You're listening for alignment. You're listening for memory. You're listening for proof that your vibration has changed. And it has. Your wallet is no longer a container. It is a temple. It is a sanctuary of remembrance. And it holds testimony now, not trauma. It carries instructions, not imbalance. It reflects divinity, not delay. You are the one. You are the one. You are the on. You were never forgotten. You were never forsaken. You were never too late, too slow, too loud, too broken. You were just waiting to say it like you meant it. You were just waiting to mean it when you said, I am the source that supply responds to. And now you do. There is nothing left to earn, nothing left to perform, nothing left to chase. Just one thing left to do. Remember. Remember whose breath you carry. Remember whose voice your voice echoes. Remember whose image you were made in. Remember the decree that made you holy. Remember the name that cannot be shaken. Remember the wealth that was never separate. Remember the God that always said yes. Say it one last time and let it be a resurrection. I am no longer surviving. I am the wealth. If you feel this truth deep in your belly, if your chest cracked open with release, if your tears have been waiting for this permission, type this now in the comments. I am no longer surviving. I am the wealth. Let your voice join the voice of God. Let your name be remembered in heaven. Let your wallet become a scroll of sacred agreement. Let your life become a decree that cannot return void, because it is done. Because you said so, because God heard you, because you are the supply, because you are the source, because you are the one. You are the one the wallet was waiting for, and now it obeys.